WJR.
Let's take a phone call right now, 800-859-0WJR for the Chief, Ella Bully-Cummings. Matt, your question for the Chief.
Yes, I was just wondering if you think that there would ever be a chance that we reinstate the residency law for police officers and firefighters in the city.
Well, Matt,
It's not up to you, is it?
No, it's not. I think what you have to do is go backwards to 2000. There was legislation that was passed by the state which took away residency here in the city of Detroit. I'm a firm believer that if you are a police officer for the city of Detroit, that you should live here in the city of Detroit. You should have an investment in eradicating crime in our city. You shouldn't just be able to come into the city and say, okay, I'm going to do my 8 hours, and whether or not I catch the bad guy, oh, well.
Right.
And then go away from here and not worry about what happens the remaining 8 and 16 hours that you're not here. I believe that there should be residency, but that's me, the chief of police. But until someone changes the state law, I don't see it.
Let's go to Bob, and Bob has a question for Police Chief Ella Bully-Cummings.
Yes, with the Detroit area also being brought up to the #1 murder capital again, are there any major changes going on in the police department, being that there are problems of low morale and so on in there to take the tide away from the Detroit being called the murder capital of the United States again?
I didn't know.
I didn't either.
Did we get that title? I didn't think we got
no.
that title.
And I think that that's what we have to be careful about, Lloyd. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. We attach labels to us that don't exist. And we need to be very careful about what we say and how we say it. You know, today I was reading an email, and someone had sent me an email asking me to take a look at copper thefts in a particular area in the city of Detroit. Mm-hmm. And the individual wrote that every business on the street had been burglarized. You cannot say stuff like that because you perpetuate this stigma that I think we're working so very hard, not just the police department, but people that have a stake and an investment in the city of Detroit. It is a stigma that we're trying to get rid of because most of our problem is perception. Absolutely. You know, our violent crime is down this year, right now, by more than 8%. Not a lot of cities across the United States can say that. You know, our non-fatal shootings are down by almost 20%. That's several hundred people that haven't been shot this year as compared to last year. Our armed robberies are down. You know, so we have to be very careful about how we stigmatize us here in the city of Detroit.
Derek has a question for the Chief. Derek?
Good evening, Chief Cummings.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I'd like to know, I had an incident where I was pulled over on a traffic stop, and one officer was professional, and one was kind of intimidating. It was late at night, and when I got home, I called the Eastern District and registered a complaint. And about 3 days later in the mail, I got citations for the different reasons that they pulled me over. And I was wondering, would that be retaliatory or is that common practice?
Derek, I'm a little bit thrown off, and so let me ask you to do this for me. I need for you to call the Office of Public Information 596-2200 tomorrow. Ask for James Tate, because if you were stopped by members, then you should have been issued the citations in conjunction with that traffic stop. So this is something I need to look into. So if you don't mind, give James Tate a call, 596-2200, okay?
Derek, did you hear that? I think Derek's gone. All right, let's go to Susie right now, and Susie has a question for the Chief. Susie?
Hi. It's a pleasure to be on the radio with you. I have a little problem. My daughter, who is 21, and a whole group of people had gone to one of the clubs in downtown Detroit. They were having a great time. She had her purse on the floor, and she went up to dance, and when she came back, it was gone. It was time to leave. They were looking for the purse, and about 5 of the security guard, or 5 of the guards or bouncers, whatever you call them, the one had her purse on his shoulders, and she said, "Can I have my purse?" And he said, "Well, you're going to have to pay me for it." And she said, "Well, I don't have any money." And he said, "Well, you're going to have to pay me for it if you want your purse back." And so she evidently got her purse. She had $20 in the purse, gave it to him, and she walked out. But she was totally scared to death. And I just wanted to know, you know what, we try to promote the city, and we try to have, have these kids go downtown and have some fun and stuff. And to have this happen to her, evidently her date went up and talked to the guys, and the guys basically told them, they circled around her date and said, "You better get the heck out of here if you don't want to get your butt beat." And we don't know what to do. As a mom and dad, she's 21, and it was a whole group that she was with, but we don't know what to do.
Susie, do me a favor. Let me get I'll ask the station to put you on hold so that I can get your phone number, and we'll give you a call. What I need you to understand is that you are at a private business in the city of Detroit.
Right.
And, the bouncers could be bouncers here in Detroit and here at a club in another city. And, that happening in Detroit, I don't want you to think that it's a Detroit kind of thing. But I need to take a look at it because clubs are licensed, and there are certain regulations that they have to abide by. So we're going to get your phone number, and we will follow up on your complaint, because something like that shouldn't have happened. But even beyond that, Susie, just crime prevention tips. Tell your daughter and anybody else they shouldn't leave their purse on the floor unattended. I don't care what kind of establishment that you're in. You
Right.
could be at a 5-star restaurant, and the same thing could happen. So we have to be proactive about what we do. But I do want to take a look at it because of the regulations around Class C establishments.
All right. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate your call. Let's take one more before we get out of here. Charles has a question for the Chief of Police, Ella Bully-Cummings.
Yes. I had a question. It seems that there's so much difficulty getting 911, someone from 911 to respond to a call. On 2 occasions within the last month, we've called 911, and never did get a response from the police department.
Okay, Charles, I will tell you that, yes, we do. We probably get several million calls in each year to our 911 system. And one of the things that we have going on right now is we have our entire system being looked at from an engineering perspective, the entire process from how calls come into 911 to how they're routed, to how they're handled by the dispatcher, to how they're handled, once a vehicle is dispatched. We receive calls that are not considered priority calls for service. I mean, it's so bad that people will call us and ask us for a telephone number to a pizzeria. And so part of it is a communications piece, Lloyd, and that's something that we can talk about the next time. Part of it is when you should call 911.
Absolutely.
Many people call 911, and it is not for an emergency. It ties up our cars. They may call and say, well, I hear shots fired, or someone here has a gun. We dispatch a car there, and nothing is going on, and no one there called. When someone that really does need the police is going without immediate police service because we're tied up on a phony run someplace else. So we do have to have that kind of conversation.
And, I have a friend who works at 911 who says, we've gotten calls where people wanted a ride to CVS to pick up their prescriptions.
Oh, that's true. That's absolutely true.
So, it happens. Well, Chief, I appreciate you coming in after your trip and the long trip, but congratulations to the department and your officer for winning that great award, and just congratulations to the men and women of the Detroit Police Department. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
We appreciate it.